Hello, and welcome to episode 41 of the Kit and Krista podcast.
The Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah, it's coming out actually on Thanksgiving Day. So if you are in the US and you celebrate Thanksgiving, then maybe you're listening to this while you eat some turkey.
This is a good digestif, right?
Digestif,
yes,
as they say.
What's on the menu today?
Well, let me tell you. Today is our big Game Awards predictions episode. We cannot believe that the Game Awards is just right around the corner. And we're going to get these predictions locked up into this time capsule so we can look back and see if we can take a W or take an L. So
yeah, we have been
today.
Combing through all of the official nominations, and we're going to give you what we think is going to win. Not in all of those categories. There's a couple too many esports categories that
There's a lot.
I don't know anything about, so
we're
going to skip some of those. But we have 19 categories that we're going to go through line by line. And we each have 3 big predictions of our own about announcements, reveals, surprises.
Yes. Now you.
Oh.
I want you to talk about your big theory right at the top of the podcast here about Nintendo and the Game Awards, because we know a thing or two about that. So tell the people your big theory.
So I feel like what Nintendo does with announcements at the Game Awards will be a good indicator of how they're feeling about Switch in 2023. Obviously, amongst, we used to call them the core gamer. I hate that phrase, but that's what they would call them. People who like games. Last year Nintendo didn't do that much, but in the past they've done a lot. So if they're feeling like, maybe things are starting to slow down on the Switch, maybe we need to really get something out there, reach beyond the audience of Nintendo Direct, we might actually see some really big announcements.
Exactly.
So I think that's what's going to happen. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I think Nintendo's going to have a huge show.
Yeah. I'm on that. I'm on the hype train with you on this Nintendo stuff. I do have that same sort of feeling that they are going to go big at the Game Awards. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But this discussion about Nintendo and many other predictions are coming up in this episode, which is very exciting.
That's right.
As usual, everything that we do here on this channel is made possible by our wonderful Patreon family. Thank you so much for all of your support. We cannot do this without you, and we're so glad that you're with us. Thank you.
We're gearing up for another great virtual meetup with some of our Patreon tiers that will be happening this weekend. You're going to unwind after the big holiday and hang out and enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. I always look forward to those monthly meetups that we're doing. And as usual, we have just the most wonderful community on our Discord. We just got some more messages just this morning about how great the server is and how everybody is just super friendly and nice. And of course, we have a food channel that is off the hook right now because of all the Thanksgiving stuff. So that's
true.
Fun to look at as well. Someone made my curry and I was very excited.
What's your hottest Thanksgiving opinion?
What is that supposed to mean?
Like what is your most out there? Yeah. What's your hot take on Thanksgiving?
My hot take on Thanksgiving is that I kind of like the leftovers more than the actual meal. Like I kind of like the eating on Friday more than the eating on actual Thanksgiving.
It's an extremely lukewarm take, I have to tell you.
Sorry. I mean, I'm a traditionalist. What can I say? What about you?
Mine is, Thanksgiving is kind of like our national amateur hour for cooking. It's like, if you don't know what you're doing with cooking, and if you don't cook often, don't choose Thanksgiving to start. It's a bad place to start, That's
not a hot take. That's just like Captain Obvious.
Listen.
It's like, you're not a race car driver, so don't go driving a race car. What kind of hot take is that?
Millions of people are like, what do I need to do? Oh, the turkey's going to be 5 hours late because I don't know what I'm doing in here.
In this day and age of the wonderful world of DoorDash or whatever. Also, please sponsor us, DoorDash. Yeah, you could get everything delivered. I mean, it's not hard. So
that's not what I'm talking about.
Your take is also lukewarm, just like my Thanksgiving.
I don't think so.
Very.
We have a great new video that is out now about weird Switch accessories. That's our Super Kit and Krista video that just came out. You should all check that out.
Yes. I have some right here.
Oh,
next
really?
To me.
The tiny controller? Oh, the toaster.
A teeny toaster.
Why does that exist?
With 2 games. Oh.
Whoa.
And this teeny controller, which is very cute. Look at this. Oh no! Why do I keep
What is
dropping
going on,
everything?
Butterfingers?
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
it's crazy.
You got some turkey grease on your fingers, I think.
Basting
You've been
away.
skimming off the top already.
Basting away. Anyways, check out the
this video, I don't know if you saw this. This video is controversial.
Very.
Our friend,
called out.
our good friend, Woodhawker.
Is he our friend still after
AKA
this video?
Beat 'em ups. I don't think he liked. And this is. I admit, it's a style of video that he had done. I don't know if he did it as well as we did, but I think he took issue with that.
There's some beef the pot is being stirred once again between us and the Nintendo people. So
I for one,
drama,
I don't get
the
it.
drama continues.
What are you gonna do?
The plot thickens like that gravy, as they say.
Oh,
this entire episode is gonna be Thanksgiving puns, by the way.
yeah.
Get on board.
It's a very on again, off again relationship we have with them.
Yeah.
It's a little dysfunctional, I gotta say.
Story of my life, honestly. Story of my life. Okay. It's all right. I'm here for all of it. I'm here for the good and the bad.
Yeah. I did enjoy seeing, though, all of the great feedback on our Wii U anniversary episode.
Oh my gosh.
Which continues to just delight people. We participated in a story with the one and only Stephen Totillo.
Yes.
Where he wanted to hear, after listening to the podcast, he reached out to us and said, wow, I want to dig a little bit deeper on some of these stories. So there's a story from Axios that he wrote that you can check out. And
Steven has been long time, ingrained in the world of Nintendo with us. And we've been through a lot of this roller coaster of the
just
Wii U
a lot.
Just a lot.
You don't have to say what it was. It's just a lot.
Deep sigh. With Steven. So it's kind of interesting to, just talk to him about it because he was sort of very much involved as well. So
exactly.
It was great to see that story come out and yeah, you and I both talked about this. It really was cathartic for both of us to just tell that story and have it sort of be in one place. I think more so than we imagined, like the sort of taking out your memories. If there's any Harry Potter fans out there, you'll get this reference. It's like when you get the pensive and you take your memories out of your head into the pensive. I don't have a clue
what you're saying right now.
And then you put it in the bottle of Dumbledore, you guys, I know you are Harry Potter fans will get this. That is what this episode felt like to me. It's like you got to take all the little bits and pieces out of the memory banks and put it somewhere so you can look back at this piece of gaming history, and it was kind of cool to have this as a place to do that. And it was very cathartic for me, I have to say.
Yeah. I think it took people a bit of time to come around on understanding our stance on the Wii U and our feelings about the Wii U because they're very different from, most people's.
Yeah. It's a very complicated relationship. Again, story of my life, people.
Jeez.
Right?
Because it is the Thanksgiving week, we do not have a Super Kit and Krista 64 coming out in the next couple days, but there's something exciting on the horizon. We did both get recently play dates.
I have been waiting years. Literally
it's true
years.
Literally years.
I was on that wait list for 2 years.
So what's funny is you bought yours years ago and have been waiting for years. Right. And I wanted one, but I did not want to wait years. Right. And a few weeks ago, the Playdate people reached out to me and said, we'd like to send you one. So ironic that we both ended up getting it about the same time through some different means.
But it's perfect because now we both have it and we can play with it together.
Right. So we're going to be doing a little unboxing with that you'll find sooner than later out there on the channel. And once the holiday break is over, we'll be back on our usual schedule with Super Kit and Krista 64.
Yeah, very exciting. The last exciting announcement that we have is holiday merch.
Yes!
I'm so excited about the holiday merch. You guys know that we are big fans of the yearly Nintendo holiday sweaters. And I think I own every single one since they started doing them and since I've worked at Nintendo. So I have at least 7 of those Nintendo holiday sweaters in my closet. And now that we're not at Nintendo anymore, I'm like, guess what? We're making our own holiday sweaters.
That you made these designs.
I did. Well,
I continue to be mystified at how you did this.
Yeah, I'll put some photos up. but I'm really proud. Like, I love how this new job that I have lets me do things, you know, that were once hobbies, like drawing and stuff. So I actually took our little faces, that's part of our logo, that our wonderful friend Lee Kovacs created for us. And I took that sort of same style of it being pixel art, and I made some merch designs in that style. So we have this cute little one with a reef, and then also one, per your request, sir, Santa hats.
I love Santa Claus. I won't lie. I will not lie. I love Santa Claus.
Please make me something with Santa hats. And I said, okay. Very exciting.
I gotta say, it doesn't sound like it's Thanksgiving for your cat. Your cat sounds upset.
She's always mad because I lock her out. I would have her in here, but it's 2-hour podcast. I'm like, oh, I can't deal with you for 2 hours.
2 hours of caterwauling is what we're going to get now.
I know. I'm sorry.
Speaking of exciting things, this episode is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Wow!
Wow! Thank you, ExpressVPN.
Going online with that ExpressVPN is like leaving your kids with the nearest stranger while using the restroom. Most of the time, it's probably fine, but you never truly know who you're trusting. Why would you ever risk it? That's why you need to be using ExpressVPN. You love ExpressVPN. You have used this for a long time.
I do. I use this for a long time. You know, anytime you connect to some sort of unencrypted network, you know, if you're at a coffee shop or if you're at the airport or in a hotel, we travel a lot, and this is exactly why I use ExpressVPN, because you never know if your online data is going to be secure with these unencrypted networks that you're always connecting randomly to when you're on the go. So I've used it, and it's super comforting to know that I have something that keeps my data secure.
And now is, I think, a great time to check it out because it's the holidays. You're doing all sorts of shopping. You might get an alert of like, oh, there's some great sale that I need to buy now. You might not be at home. You might be on some weird network. This will keep you safe.
Exactly. And it also works on all your devices too. So if it, you know, your laptop, your phone, your tablet, like I'm like the bag lady with like every single device possible. And I use it for all of them. And it's really convenient and really nice.
Yes. Secure your online data today at expressvpn.com/KitKrista and get 3 extra months free. That's expressvpn.com/KitKrista. expressvpn.com/KitKrista.
Link is here as usual and also in the description below.
That's right. All right, on to our big TGA segment here, and for this we're combining Storytime and Never a Minute because this is a whopper.
This is a beefy one.
As I said in my award-winning rap, it's not just big; it's a whopper. Okay,
I forgot about that line. That's a good line. That's a great line.
It might be an award for me. I don't know. Trending game rapper. That's me.
Oh,
not trending gamer. Bad things happen to the trending gamer.
Oh,
I am not the trending gamer.
They get canceled in the bathrooms at E3.
They get exposed.
They get exposed in the bathroom at E3. Oh no. Okay, we digress. Let's get into this big prediction episode. We have, as you said, we have 19 categories from the Game Awards. You can actually vote on the Game Awards too. So like, I'm going to do that after this. After we collect our
You've already done the work, so might as well.
Exactly.
And we're going to be at the Game Awards.
That's right.
Very important
detail. Very important. Very important details that we're going to be there, and it's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to be back in person at the Game Awards. It's one of my favorite events of the year, so it's going to be
great. We didn't get to go last year because it was kind of a small group with the pandemic, and Nintendo frankly didn't have a ton going on.
No.
And I think that was the only Game Awards that I had actually missed. So I'm excited to get back.
Yeah. I think you have been to every single one. I might have missed like one out of that mix. So we have been longtime Game Award attendees. And it definitely felt strange last year just to be left behind by Nintendo.
Yeah, no, the schedule is like we're getting invitations to fun things. We're going to be vlogging it so you can see it through our eyes, but it's going to be really fun.
We have a special guest that we're meeting with.
That's true.
So excited about. Okay.
On to the categories.
Category number
Category
one.
The first.
Best
narrative. And the nominees are A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and Immortality. I admit I did not know what Immortality was, but I looked it up.
Yes.
So now I do.
I looked it up. Out of this list, I have played 3 out of the 4 out of the 5 games.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these are repeats on the list is repeated in many categories. So we'll be talking about these games throughout. But what is your initial thought for? There's been a lot of discourse around the narrative.
Oh, the Elden Ring discourse
and Elden Ring, exactly.
That's silly, I thought.
It's very silly, I think, as well.
I admit I had no clue what happened in that game story, though, so that's not my pick.
Like maybe 6 videos on the Elden Ring story, and I still don't understand it, but I'm into it. Like, I'm like, yes, good. This is cool.
Yeah.
But I don't get it.
So I have no problem with it being nominated, but my pick is God of War.
You think God of War is going to win? This is not what you think. It's what you who you think would win.
That's what I think is going to win.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these are not my personal picks. I should say we're going to do our own big game of the year episode.
That's a good clarification.
I'm thinking what the people.
Which one will win?
Yes, the game of the awards voting body, whoever they are, these shadowy figures.
Yeah.
The gaming,
I also think.
Yeah.
The shadowy
intelligentsia,
the gaming Kitterati. I mean, the gaming Illuminati.
What if I was secretly a voter?
I knew it,
and I didn't tell you.
You're so shady. You would definitely do that. And
Jeff was like, "I want you guys to be in on this, but I can only take one of you."
And you're like, "I volunteer.
Come to Papa right here."
I'm ready, Jeff. Okay. I also think it's going to be God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah. I mean, God of War with the first game, it really swept those awards. In 2018, so we know the voters love this series. This game has a great story. We've been playing it. I don't see anything else here that it can really hold a
topple it. Yeah, exactly. And it's such a game that you play specifically for the story, versus some of these other ones on the list.
Right.
So more so than ever, I think, especially with this second sort of entry into this God of War series. So yeah. I agree. God of War is our prediction for best narrative.
We don't have to agree. We don't have to agree on these. We probably won't agree on some.
We probably won't agree on a lot of these.
But in the end, I'll be right. I'll be proven right. You're going to find out. Best art direction is next. Nominees are Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Scorn, and Stray.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Some different looks of games on this list.
Yeah. How say you on this one?
I'm a little torn, but I think it's going to be Horizon Forbidden West.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell us why.
I just feel like, again, this game is another one that is like really built for this category of art direction, and like the look of this game is so distinctive. The landscapes in this one in particular, and just like the style of it is so unique. And it really has like been branded as like the pretty game, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I think I'm picking this one. I feel like you're going to disagree with me.
I do. I think God of War and Horizon are great, but they are sequels that are kind of building upon what, the initial game already did. Scorn and Stray, I think it's great that those got nominated. I think Elden Ring's going to be the winner. I mean, that is kind of building upon the Souls games and what From Software has done before, but it's like that, like on an exponential level. And there's so many different looks to this game and just so much art that went into it. Most art, is that a category? Maybe it should be. So I'm thinking Elden Ring has a good chance here, just for the newness factor that some of the other games don't have.
That's the one I was torn between for this category, is between Elden Ring and Horizon. Both of them have a lot of merit for this category. I agree with everything you said about Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will see. We shall see.
Yeah. All right. Next category is Best Score in Music, with the nominees being A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Metal Hellsinger, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Wow.
Yeah. I was excited for a Nintendo game to be nominated for a non-best family game category. That's cool, That's really cool.
the Xenoblade fans are going to be upset when this
I don't think
doesn't win.
It's not going to win.
I don't think it's going to win. I think it is absolutely deserving of winning, but I don't think it will.
Right. I agree. This one, and I'm not so super familiar with A Plague Tale or Metal Hellsinger.
Yeah.
I did look up a little, like I did listen to some OST stuff, but it's a little bit hard for me to tell. I feel like it's going to be Elden Ring on this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love the music of Elden Ring. I think it's maybe a bit more ambient than some of the other games here. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking God of War is going to take this.
See, that's the thing you were saying before about it being sort of samey from the first game.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the uniqueness factor here of Elden Ring will push it above God of War.
Why don't we talk a bit about why we don't think Xenoblade is going to win this?
Xenoblade is just, it's already like in a category where I feel like it's going to get a little bit dismissed, I guess. My feeling is like people are just going to immediately overlook it because it's not a God of War or Elden Ring.
It's more, anime versus like traditional Hollywood, which is where I feel the Game Awards usually lean. It's like, things that are like in the style of a Hollywood movie, that's what we want. And there's still not the respect that you would want on something, as, quote, Japanese as Xenoblade. That's
true. It's more of like sort of your traditional take on like expensive entertainment, something like that, is probably what's going to win.
Yeah, even though that's probably the soundtrack that, I would choose to listen to if I was going to sit down and listen to one of these.
Yeah.
Although, so it's kind of a bummer for me to say that that's probably not going to take it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed.
It's going to be a rough night for some people.
It's all right. It's so good, guys.
We can tweet through it, or we can hive through it. Whatever you're on these days, you can mastodon through it.
We'll do all the things, and we'll listen to that really sad song from Chapter 5.
Oh, there we go. Again. That's a good way to get over some heartbreak.
All right, best audio design. Yeah.
Are you going to read them?
Oh, I can read them.
You've gone this far. You might as well.
It is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7, and Horizon Forbidden West.
So Gran Turismo is always like famous for the lengths they go to of like we mic'd up this Honda Civic it's like
cars.
We drove 100,000 miles across country. If this was like a lifetime achievement award, I think it could be that, but I think maybe the bloom is off that rose a little bit. I'm actually thinking Call of Duty is going to get this.
Yeah, I was thinking about which games have like the most impactful like sound design kind of thing, and Call of Duty is definitely one of them. I was thinking God of War would be good too because there's so much like fighting and battling,
crunching,
axe crunching, skull. It's very distinct. That's like a Foley stage cabbage right there. So yeah. Okay, you go with Call of Duty. I'm going to go with God of War.
Yeah, I actually have Call of Duty winning a couple things. This felt like a good comeback year for Call of Duty. After last year, people were not into that game.
Right.
Vanguard, and it's been a long time since I played a Call of Duty, but from what I can tell, people are much more into this game. And the audio in those games is really good. So
it is well done.
It's maybe the safest pick I can see here.
COD audio.
COD, love that COD.
Cardio.
Oh, cardio. Well, that's good. Best performance is next. We have Ashley Birch for Horizon Forbidden West, Charlotte McBurney for A Plague Tale Requiem, Christopher Judge for God of War Ragnarok, Manon Gage for Immortality, and Sunny, how do you say this? Suljic for God of War Ragnarok as well.
Yeah. On three, let's say what we think it is. 1, 2, 3. Christopher Judge.
Now, would you be shocked if Sunny Suljic got this, though?
No, I wouldn't be. This definitely is a game of really like equal parts Atreus and Kratos, right? In this particular God of War game. So, whereas I feel like the last entry was like a lot more focused on Kratos and his his dialogue and stuff. This one's definitely more Atreus. So
yeah, you're further ahead in that game than I am, and we'll talk about it later. But it does feel like it's almost more Atreus's game than Kratos's.
Yeah.
So I do wonder, will people give Sonny a bit more of a nod over Christopher Judge? But I mean, Christopher Judge just has that role
Iconic.
Nailed. It's iconic.
Iconic.
Yeah.
And there's, you know what? There's so much of a more emotional character for Kratos in this game, for sure. And he really had to like capture that. And it's so good. Even the way that he grunts is very there's like emotion and like meaning behind, even simple things that Kratos does in the game. So you got to give it to Christopher Judge for that stunning performance.
Yeah. I watched a video that PlayStation put up recently, which featured mostly Christopher Judge. It was like getting into the character of Kratos, but they actually featured voice actors from different languages. So it was a lot of gruff sounding dudes and a variety of different languages, but it was cool to see the variety.
I like when the subtitle just says grunts.
Yeah.
That's the best.
All right. Best Indie is next. We got a couple indie categories. So we have Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic.
Oh, so this is where our paths diverge.
Well, let's do some logic here. One of these games is nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
And it's Stray. Shouldn't that imply that it is the best indie? Shouldn't it?
That was the one that I was going to
That's my pick.
Me too.
I'm a very logical person. That's what happened in my head.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is like, if you were a judge at the Game Awards, wouldn't you logically make that inference as well, that because Stray is nominated for Game of the Year,
right,
then it must be the best in its category?
There's a great 5 games, though. I mean, I think any of these could realistically win it, but the fact that is nominated for Game of the Year, I think that has to be it.
Yeah, and that game was fantastic, honestly. Like, I loved it, and I hope that it gets some recognition at the Game Awards.
I mean, it got nominated for Game of the Year. That's some recognition.
Well, I mean, you gotta take some awards home. You got a trophy and everything. Come on.
Okay. You
can't just be nominated. That's like...
Will they have a cat on stage?
With
a real cat?
Backpack? We should give it a tiny trophy, like a cat-sized
trophy. Like the mocap cat that they used or something?
Oh my gosh, that little cat is so cute. I love it. I love it.
Best mobile game is next. We have Apex Legends Mobile, Diablo Immortal, Genshin Impact, Marvel Snap, and Tower of Fantasy.
Ooh, what is Tower? That's the only one that I don't know much about, I guess.
This category, I mean, we know that the judges are not super hardcore into mobile games.
Right.
So I wonder about this category.
Mm-hmm.
I chose Apex Legends just because it's kind of a big-ish name that did a good job of being translated to mobile. Diablo Immortal, we know there was enough scandal around that. People are not going to want to choose that.
No, exactly.
Marvel Snap, a lot of people love, but I don't know how far and wide it got for people to pick that. I think this is one where
kind of late.
This is like voting for prop 77 on your whatever ballot you've got, and it's like, I don't know what this is. Like, I'm just eyeballing this for whatever looks good.
Sure.
You're fine. Apex Legends, great.
I'm gonna go with Marvel Snap, even though
that's your pick.
Well, no, I mean yes, yes,
no, I mean yes,
and no, but also yes. But I do think that this has like a, to your point, like a wide appeal. Like this IP is really big. It captured a lot of it's almost has like, it's not at this level, obviously, so don't come at me that I'm saying this, but like Pokemon Go like captured all these people that never played Pokemon, like I feel like this Marvel Snap game captured a lot of people that maybe never played mobile games or never even liked Marvel beyond watching the occasional Avengers movie or whatever. So I'm gonna give it to, I think Marvel Snap does have a good shot.
Yeah. Best action game, and we should say there's another category right after this, best action adventure.
Right.
So the 5 for best action are Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Neon White, Sifu, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
Nice.
Again, here I'm going Call of Duty.
I was going to do Call of Duty for this category as well.
Yeah. Bayonetta 3 did not seem to get as much critical acclaim as the previous games.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be that. Neon White and Sifu and Ninja Turtles, those are all great games.
But I don't think it has like the impact.
The cachet.
Yeah.
You know?
Cachet.
So and again, this was a good rebound year for Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Quality wise. So
exactly.
I think that is like by default. It's always good to win by default.
Some deserving.
Sure. So I think that's where. So you agree?
I agree. This is my Call of Duty pick.
Okay.
Best action adventure, though.
Best action adventure: A Plague Tale: Requiem, God of War: Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Tunic. This is almost the like Game of the Year nominees right here.
Pretty much, yeah.
Again, showing the types of games that the judges really gravitate towards. We got a lot of them.
Right. Action adventure.
Action adventure.
Oh, jeez.
You don't know?
I think it's God of War.
I think it's God of War too.
Yeah.
I really need to check out A Plague Tale.
I'm too scared of rats.
Rats.
I'm really scared. Can you play it and tell me if you think it's good?
I will. Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Yeah. I need to if it got nominated this many times. My gosh.
Exactly. I know.
What a miss by me.
Yeah, I totally missed this one.
Yeah. Again, another great list of games, but yeah, I think God of War stands out from this.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, it's almost a little too obvious, and I didn't want it to be, but I kind of.
Sometimes that's the answer. The obvious choice is the answer.
Yeah.
All right, best RPG. We're almost at the halfway point here.
Ooh.
We have Elden Ring, Live Alive, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Triangle Strategy, and Pokemon Legends Arceus. So
tons of Nintendo
four
games.
Switch games and Elden Ring.
Yeah, but
it's interesting. You know, Elden Ring is probably, like by traditional terms, the least RPG-ish
of the bunch
of this group.
Yeah,
but it was such a smash hit.
It's gonna win.
I feel like this is gonna win.
It's like there's 4 really great Switch games, and then there's like the hulking, like behemoth smash hit that is Elden Ring. It's like, how can you stand up to that caliber of game? Like, really hard, you know?
Roger's base is going to snap a pencil, because I know Roger loves a lot of these games.
Snap some other things, too.
These all could win. But again, just knowing
they're not gonna.
How big Elden Ring was,
yeah,
I have to go with that as the likely winner.
I think so too.
Yeah,
it might not be our personal pick.
Again, more pain for the Xenoblade fans. My gosh,
they're going to be in a lot of pain all night.
When are they going to catch a break?
They're going to be in a lot of pain all night.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to tell you right now. That's my prediction. You'll be in pain.
Pokemon Scarlet Violet were not nominated because they announced the nominees before the game even came out.
That's right. It was earlier than
And we heard that the review code for that went out a little bit late. So I think the Game Awards might have just said, well, we're just scratching this.
Yeah.
Because,
well, at least Arceus is on here.
Yeah, yeah. But, you know,
that's a good Pokemon.
That inner workings of their nomination date can get a little tricky.
It's hard with the holidays.
Yeah.
You know, like right here in the middle of it. So I get it. I get what they have to do. It's tough.
All right. We are on to Best Fighting Game, and the nominees are DNF Duel, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R, The King of Fighters 15. I cannot believe we're up to 15 on that series.
Wow.
Multiversus, and Sifu.
I gotta tell you, this is the category where I have the most blind spots.
We played JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
We did, and I was
very
JoJo
confused.
Poses. We did the JoJo poses. We did the JoJo something or another's. That poor man that tried
that was
to
great because we walked up to this demo at the Summer Game Fest, and this guy asked, "So, what do you guys know about JoJo?" And we said, "Absolutely nothing." And he looked stunned for a good 3 Mississippi. He did not know where to go from there.
White as a sheet.
Oh.
And then had to catch us up on decades of JoJo lore in a span of 2 minutes, which was confusing for me. So I don't think that's going to be the one, people.
I think it's going to be Multiversus.
I think it was going to be Multiversus as well. Again, the broad appeal. Broad.
That game had some had some momentum for a while as kind of a good Smash competitor,
clone. Yeah.
Smash-ish game. I think that game had a lot of potential to be a train wreck. It was not.
No.
So I think that's where people are going to go with this. And I think some of these
Yeah.
other games are, again, just a tiny bit obscure to get that critical mass of the voting that you need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I totally agree with that.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
This used to be our game of the year. Best family game. Here we go. We have Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. Oh my gosh, I wrote it down wrong.
I was like, what?
Splatoon 3, Switch Sports, and Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
Oh, yes. Best family game.
I think
one.
it is going to be Splatoon 3.
I think it's going to be Kirby.
Well, we've seen that the family game definition is extremely loose, and it's really just a catch-all for anything that doesn't fit into any of these other categories.
It's just 5 Switch games. Is like 5
right.
Switch games that they want to put into a category. That's what this category is.
You know, they used to have like a best shooter category. They did away with that, and now it's just kind of folded into action. And Splatoon actually has won that in the past. So we know the judges like Splatoon. I just worry about like the reputation of Kirby with these voters.
I worry about the reputation of this particular Splatoon with the voters because it's so similar to Splatoon 2.
They liked it. They're not as discerning as us.
Oh, I just feel like it's like for the same reasons where when you say like, oh, you know, Horizon Forbidden West is the second game or Ragnarok is the second game. So do they give it to something? And people have said there's so many like quote critics or whatever that have said that this Kirby game has really shown that Kirby can grow into this new category of like AAA titles. So I think that it has a real shot.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't.
I'm going with Kirby.
I would not be stunned if it was Kirby over Splatoon 3.
All right.
They got to get rid of this category. They got to do better than this.
Sports.
Come on.
What is it going to be then? Where would you put it? I
don't know. I'm not Jeff Keighley.
It's not Game of the Year.
But this catch-all for just these Nintendo games that don't fit, you know, whatever genres you've got. Like you got to come up with something else. You just did. Sorry.
They can just say best Nintendo game.
Sure, it's fine. Next is Best Sim / Strategy. I was upset that Mario and Rabbids was in Family Game, but thank goodness Mario and Rabbids is the first nominee here.
It's a legit strategy game, so yes,
we also
it deserves to be there.
Dune, Spice Wars, Victoria 3, 2 Point Campus, and Total War Warhammer 3.
I think it's going to be Mario plus Rabbids.
I think it is too. I have heard some good things about 2 Point Campus. I haven't checked that out myself, but that game had some good buzz. The Total War games are always really solid. But yeah, I think Mario and Rabbids is deserving and is kind of the big name again that the voters gravitate towards. I'm really throwing a lot of shade at these voters. But them's the facts.
Well, I mean, they have to vote on something.
Well, sure. But it's Mario and Rabbids here. We agree?
Yeah, absolutely. This game totally deserves it. And talk about a game that grew leaps and bounds from the previous game.
Yeah.
I think this game is legitimately a game that deserves to be outside of the family game category, which is great that it's there.
I would love to see our great friend Davide up on stage accepting a great award.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
That would be wonderful to see. Yeah.
I would love to see that as well.
All right, we're on to Best Multiplayer, and we have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Multiversus, Splatoon 3, Overwatch 2, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah.
I had something marked, and now I'm kind of doubting myself.
I think it's Call of Duty.
I had also noted Call of Duty, but now I'm
now you're back to Multiversus?
I might be talking myself into Multiversus.
You're talking yourself. Do you want to go that one instead?
Because I think, again, people were so like pleasantly surprised by that game.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I think the assumption was this is going to be trash. This is a joke. This is a cheap, cash in on Smash Brothers. Yeah, but it really held people's attention for a long time. It had a huge launch. I'm gonna zag. I'm gonna go Multiversus. You go Call of Duty. We'll see.
I'm going Call of Duty.
We'll see who wins.
Who wins? Yeah, I want to know. Those are the top two for sure, though.
Yeah.
Because for like Call of Duty, as you were saying, had a really good year this year, and Multiverses definitely has that like wide appeal,
right?
That I think these judges are looking for when they're thinking about their votes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Splatoon, Overwatch, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I mean, Overwatch, I'm kind of surprised is even nominated. People did not really seem to love this game.
They did not really like this game.
And it seemed to have a lot of issues, so I don't know what was going on there.
Maybe it's like it has to be there, or else it feels like a glaring
No other
role.
Options?
No, probably there's
Switch
other
Sports?
options.
Where was Switch Sports?
It's not going to be
favorite
Switch
game.
Sports.
Mario Strikers, where was that?
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
So
game.
many options.
No. That should be one of our categories.
The forgotten game?
Yeah, most
forgettable
game. That's going to be one of our categories.
Don't tip your hand.
I'm not tipping anything. There's a lot in that category, people. A lot.
All right, we have another indie category next. Best Debut Indie. And the nominees are Neon White, Norco, Stray, As Your Cat Is Going Wild, Tunic, and Vampire Survivors. So I guess this is, obviously not a series of indie games, an original first of its kind game.
Yes.
Again, I have to apply the same logic. Stray was nominated for Game of the Year. It should sweep any of these indie categories it's in.
It should really sweep.
I'm going to come for the voters if it doesn't.
The cat is sweeping. The cat's not sweeping, but the game is.
I had my very hot take about Stray that I realized I shouldn't say it until I've actually played the game.
Because you haven't played this game at all,
I haven't played this game. I need to get around to that game. If I play
Maybe
it and it doesn't live up to the hype, then I'm going to let it fly.
When are you going to play it though? Because I want to hear the people come at you. I want you to say it. Say it.
Fine. I'll just say it. People who like cats really like telling people that they like cats.
Okay.
And I'm not like besmirching the quality of this game or anything, but it's like, we get it. You like cats. Everybody likes cats. I don't know people who hate cats, but we get it.
What does this have to do with the game, though?
It's a game about cats. You're a cat.
You're saying that the reason that the game is nominated for all of these awards is because people who like cats,
it might be helping it over the top. Yeah,
they like cats.
Yes, I need to tell the world how much I like cats by nominating this game for Game of the Year.
Oh my lord!
See,
that is
you
ridiculous.
made me say it before I played this game. I could be completely wrong. The people are going to come. All the cat people are going to come after me.
Momo's going to come after you.
Listen, I grew up with cats. I love cats.
But did you tell people that you love cats?
I need to change my life to make it all about announcing how much I love cats.
As a person that played and finished this game, okay, let me tell you about my cat. I'm just kidding. I really think this game deserves to be here in these categories because it really took me by surprise. And I don't think you have to even like cats to like this game because the story is so good and the gameplay is so unique. So I'm a Stray fan and a cat fan.
Good.
Unlike you.
No. Now I'm going to twist your arm and make you get a take off about a game you never played to even this out. What's your hot take on Vampire Survivors?
I think it's terrible. No, just kidding.
I actually really want to play that game. I need to play that game.
Sounds cool.
That actually could be, again, if Stray, for some reason, the judges are asleep at the wheel, Vampire Survivors could win.
What about Tunic? I really, really want Tunic to win something because it's so good.
Well, there is this thing, the recency bias.
The recency bias is real.
People prioritize the thing that is freshest in their mind.
Yeah.
And Tunic came out kind of early in the year.
Yep.
And also in the shadow of Elden Ring, that is not helping it. I worry that game might get it got nominated, but I think as far as how much people remember it, it might get a little bit forgotten, which would be sad.
Yeah. I wonder if it got a little bump when it came out on Switch later in the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
That game is so amazing. It really deserves to win something.
Yeah.
If it wasn't up against Stray, it's like that thing where 5 RPGs are up against Elden Ring. It's like, well,
right.
You're not going to win, obviously. So, yeah. I love this category.
Best adaptation.
So
this is a new category. I think we both
cool.
love this. This is a great idea. It's, best adaptation of a game into some other medium.
Right.
The options are Arcane, League of Legends, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, The Cuphead Show, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and Uncharted.
Don't be biased.
I absolutely forgot that the Uncharted movie came out.
Okay, it's not going to be that. So,
but Marky Monk's in it.
Take it off. He had to play a different character because it took them so long to make the game. That's funny.
You said don't be biased. I actually think the winner is going to be Sonic the Hedgehog. No joke. I think that's what's going to get it.
I think the winner is going to be Arcane League of Legends.
I think that could be a strong option.
People
loved that.
They love it so much. Everyone won't stop talking to me about it. I'm like, okay, I get it. I will watch this. Go away.
But again, we know these voters lean Hollywood. Nothing's more Hollywood than a big blockbuster movie like Sonic.
But Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Sequels don't do well.
You've seen this movie, haven't you?
Yeah. No, I've seen Sonic the Hedgehog 1.
Oh, you saw 1. Okay. Sonic Week, people. This is time for the plug.
Oh.
50,000. We're like within 1,000 subs
close
to doing Sonic Week.
Sonic Week might be like the first week we come back in 2023 as Sonic Week, and that would be like a real good start to the year.
If you are not subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do it now so that we can do Sonic Week.
We want to convert Kit into a Sonic fan.
We have our Sonic advisor
Kit
at the ready.
Yes.
Waiting, and I will not be telling you who this person is.
Kit is checking into Sonic Rehab as soon as we hit 50K, people. He can be.
It's probably the opposite of that.
He can either going willingly or going kicking and screaming. But either way, he's going in.
The butterfly nets, they're going to take me away.
They're going to take you. They put the straight jacket on and make you hold your eyelids open while you watch Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yikes.
Winner of the Best Adaptation Game Award. I think it's Arcane.
It could be. Yeah.
League of Legends.
All right, we're down to our final 3 categories here. Most anticipated game. We have The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Hogwarts Legacy, Final Fantasy 16, Resident Evil 4, and Starfield.
Come on, people.
There's no question.
It's gonna be Zelda.
It's Zelda. Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, come on. Really, come on. Especially because the rest of these games.
Hogwarts Legacy? What?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I made a Harry Potter reference earlier, but it's not going to be that.
No.
Final Fantasy 16 has some bad press as of late.
Yeah.
Resident
Starfield has just disappeared.
Starfield we've not heard of since
what happened
like
to that?
June.
Yeah.
So it's been it's not on people's mind. Talk about recency bias here. Yeah, this is a given for Zelda.
All right. Best game direction. I honestly don't exactly know what this means.
I was going to ask you,
but hopefully the voters do. Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, or Immortality.
God of War Ragnarok is my pick for this category.
I am going God of War as well, but I will explain why after the next category. So let's jump into that.
Oh, well, the next
which is Game of the Year.
Game of the Year.
The options are A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, or Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Okay, let's say our picks on 3. Let's see if we have the same one. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Elden Ring. Okay.
So I think it's close between Elden Ring and God of War.
Close. I mean,
but I think it's one of those things where the voters are gonna. It's like you see this in the Oscars. It's like one gets Best Picture, one gets Best Director. It's like we're kind of doling it out a little bit to make everybody feel good.
But it's not going to feel good because one wins Game of the Year and one doesn't. So
yeah,
people, you know what they say: second place is last place.
I do think it's closer than people may have thought. Earlier in the year.
Yeah, I mean I think we all had written off like, can there be any
there was no other option.
Elden Ring this year for Game of the Year, and we were all anticipating God of War. God of War is a fantastic game, like amazing, but I just don't think it can. It's just a hair shy of unseating Elden Ring. I think.
Yeah. No Bodhi category. Kind of disappointing.
That's too bad.
You won't be disappointed when we do our Game of the Year stuff.
That's right. Our Game of the Year is going to be fun. We're going to have most forgettable game, Bodhi.
Yeah.
Many other
That's right.
ridiculous categories will be part of our Game of the Year
All right.
podcast.
Now we each have 3 predictions for
reveals.
Big news, big announcements.
Yes.
This is what people come to the Game Awards for.
So exciting.
Please go first.
World premiere.
World premiere.
Elden Ring DLC.
Oh, I had that too.
What a great night to announce that.
Yeah.
I'm going to carry my dozen TGA trophies, my Game of the Year trophy. I'm going to drop a DLC. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to play it.
Especially since they had, before Elden Ring came out, they seemed very closely associated with Jeff, and they had that big thing at Summer Game Fest. So I think they just want to hitch their wagon to Jeff with all this stuff.
And they should. They should.
Yeah.
This is perfect timing for them. The game came out, pretty early this year. They need a resurgence for people to get back into the Elden Ring universe. What better time to do it than when you're going to sweep basically the Game Awards with your game. So
this is actually not a Nintendo thing, but this is a lock for me. I think a new Mortal Kombat will be announced.
Oh,
it's been a while.
Not had that on my radar.
It's been a while since. So Mortal Kombat 11 was announced at the Game Awards 2018 with a great trailer and came out in May 2019.
That's right.
Those games had been on kind of a schedule, and it's been a while. I feel really confident that we're going to get this.
Oh, yeah. That's a really good point. I really have not thought about Mortal Kombat for so long.
It's been a while.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you think they're going to announce a new
I feel really good about that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty awesome. That would be great if they did.
Mm-hmm.
My other one is a Nintendo thing, and I think it's going to be new footage of Tears of the Kingdom.
So I have an either or for a big Nintendo reveal.
Okay.
I think it could be that, or there are still people who are staking their claim on this Metroid Prime Remastered coming out before the end of the year.
Oh.
So there could be a situation.
Wearing? We got to decipher that.
Yes. There could be a situation where there's a Metroid Prime Remastered Shadow drop and some little tease for Metroid Prime 4 where it's coming 2023 or new info coming soon, something like that, because we've always hammered this point of this game does not exist on its own. It exists to promote Metroid Prime 4.
Right. That's exactly right. It's like a marketing vehicle for
and we
Metroid
know
Prime 4.
There's probably going to be a direct in January. So it could be, if this is the big game for 2023 Metroid Prime that we need to get out there after, going dark for all these years, this is the way to get it into that.
Why not save that for January though? And go with Tears of the Kingdom that they already showed a little bit of during the last Direct.
That's why I think it's either or. Zelda has always been associated with the Game Awards.
Exactly.
But again, I don't know. Nintendo might think we did that with the last game. We're going to go a different way this time.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the quote core gamer is what Nintendo wants to reach. And I think maybe Metroid has more of a potential audience, outside of the standard Nintendo fan based on what they're doing with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's an either or.
Yeah.
So I had written both.
My only hesitation and question mark around Metroid, which I think all your points about reaching the quote unquote core gamer is totally valid and something Nintendo would definitely do, is that I kind of feel like Nintendo wants the first announcement for Metroid to be their own announcement vehicle. They're weird about the Game Awards because it's not their thing. It's they're inserting themselves into someone else's, Jeff's production, his show or whatever. So there's always been this weird pride thing with Nintendo, and we see it every single time we plan Game Awards stuff.
Again, it goes back to my point at the beginning. How desperate are they feeling? How desperate are they feeling?
That's true. The
that's
desperation
what this
will
is the test of.
Overshadow the pride.
Right. That's what this is the test of.
Yeah. So we will see.
I have one more.
Okay.
I think we're getting a clip of the Mario movie with an appearance by Jack Black.
They do
Jack Black has been associated back to the days of the Spike VGAs. Jack Black has been closely associated with that. We've seen Universal has been pretty, eager to, reach Nintendo fans and slowly work their way out to more of a mainstream audience.
Right.
This might be like the end of their Reach Gamers campaign. But I think there'd be some sort of like a Bowser focused clip with Jack Black kind of teeing it up. We've seen a lot of movie crossovers in the Game Awards in the past.
That's true. Yeah.
So it wouldn't feel out of place. I think it would be, it's a huge audience. It's a great place for it. It makes a lot of sense.
Place for it. Yeah. And I can, that's such a logical thing for, the movie promotion to have is that inclusion, because it totally feels sort of like a Hollywood night, you know, with like awards and stuff. So yeah, I think that's a smart prediction for sure. I did not think about that, but
it was so logical. You didn't come up with it?
I didn't come up with it. I have two really dumb ones that I want to share though.
Okay.
One is I think the Schick robot will make a triumphant return.
Gotta do it.
Gotta do it. We want the Schick robot. Bring him back.
People love that thing.
The Schick robot can go along with the Stray nominations.
Okay.
There's robots there too.
Okay.
My second one is also funny. It's that I think someone's going to drop the F-bomb.
Is that guy going to be there again?
The
It Takes Two guy? Is he going to be there?
I hope so. Is he going to drop the F-bomb?
If he is, he's going to do it.
Am I going to drop the F-bomb?
Oh, no.
Just kidding. I know you're already nervous now.
I'm nervous.
Oh, no. You're nervous. Those are jokey predictions. But it's always, you know what, beyond big game reveals and all that stuff, there is always like this, some cringe moments and some like unscripted, like weird moments that happen at the Game Awards that I always look forward to. I think it's fun. So we'll see what happens.
It's going to be a big night. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it? Are those all your predictions?
I've got nothing else. I got them all out. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Lock it in. Lock it into the box. Put this time capsule of an episode here. And then we will look back to see.
We'll unearth it in a few weeks.
That's right.
Yeah.
To see how we did.
All right. Why don't we move on? All right, up next, we have a very fun poll, which we put to our wonderful Patreon subscribers around the Pokemon starter they chose for Scarlet and Violet.
Yes, we're going to start doing these more often. We're going to start polling our community to get them more involved in these episodes. So another fun little perk if you join us on Patreon.
Yeah, so obviously we both chose Fuecoco, which is objectively the correct choice. It's fascinating, though. I've seen a lot of these polls, and they are all so close.
Yeah, and this one is no different. We did one when we were playing live the first hour, and it was also like exactly 33%.
Yeah,
for, like, all the categories.
This seems to be the closest. They really nailed like the appeal of all three. But for our poll, so the results were Sprigatito won by the skin of its little Sprigatito teeth at 35%. And then Quaxley and Fuecoco were tied at 33%. That's amazing.
That is seriously crazy that is that close. Usually there is a starter that everyone prefers, but this one is clearly hard to lose.
We got some good comments. Juji Fruit says, I'm a water type fan generally. My factors in choosing a starter are, is it water? And is it cute or cool? Sometimes considering evolution, sometimes not. Quaxley is both. However, I am powerless against Grass Kitty, Sprigatito gang right up. Rise up.
The Grass Kitty.
Yes.
The Mint Kitty, as people like to call it.
Yes. Tefu said, I'd love to choose Fuecoco, but my significant other has called dibs on it, so I've decided to go with Sprigatito, as I am not the biggest cat fan, but I want to feel optimistic about this one. That's an interesting case, where if you're playing alongside somebody else, it's like, I'm picking this. You got to go another way.
You got to go another way.
Right.
Or if you can't pick the same game, like I'm playing Scarlet and you're playing Violet.
Right. Zroid says, Sprigatito. Cutest starter, best type, coolest final evolutionary form. Yes, I looked at the leaks. Sue me, ninjas.
Oh no, the ninjas.
You need to know what you're getting into, okay? I have no issue with this.
My Fuecoco has evolved.
And it looks real dumb.
It looks a little dopey. Even dopier than before, which I don't hate.
Yeah.
How fun. We're going to do more of these.
Yes. Well, that's a great transition into what we're playing. And the first thing here is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So a little warm up for you there.
Exactly.
So we have both been playing this. all weekend long and up till now. From our conversations, it seems like I'm liking it a little bit more than you.
You definitely are. And I venture to say now that you might be a bigger Pokemon fan than I am, just in general.
Like, I think you're too mature now. You're just an adult.
I've aged out of Pokemon.
You're just another boring adult.
Oh no.
Can't recapture the excitement of your youth.
I know, I really want to. So this is what we were talking about earlier this week with each other, which is I am having a hard time, and there's something that I can't quite put my finger on, like exactly why this is happening, but I'm just having a bit of a hard time, like feeling the magic of Pokemon with this one and getting into it. I don't know why.
This is a bigger issue than just Pokemon, I think.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's just me. I don't want to like have my personal like shortcomings be the reason why I'm not like loving this game like I thought I would. So we both played Arceus.
Well, hold on for let's hold that thought for a second. The Pokemon fan base does seem to be just one of the most miserable fan bases in gaming. And I wonder how much of it has to do with that it probably played a really pivotal part of these people's childhoods. Yeah. And it's like, what all is contributing to this anger around these games, not being able to recapture that magic. It's more than just a game. It's
like an emotional.
It's like, I get it.
You have this emotional,
but we need expectation. We need to dig away at this to get at the root of it.
Yeah, I'm not angry, and I don't. To be clear, I'm not angry, and I don't hate the game. I like it. Fine.
Right.
When I was thinking about this, I was trying to think back to what was the last Pokemon game that I had the magical feeling, and it was Sun and Moon. So I wasn't a child at that time. I was an adult. And I was trying to think about like, what was it about Sun and Moon that just totally gave me the magical Pokemon feeling, you know? And I mean, definitely I love the region. I liked the look of it. I liked all of those sort of the packaging around that game. And then I was also thinking about how I really liked Arceus, and I would say that I like Arceus far more than this game that I'm playing right now. And I was also thinking, like, why was that? You know, like, I think the exploration was so well done. That was like sort of the core of the game. The look was really interesting with this like sort of, you know, old style, like the medieval Japan or whatever, like olden day Japan or whatever. Something about this game that the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, it's feeling very like generic to me for some reason. I'm not sure why. The landscape, it looks nice, but it certainly isn't like super unique or anything like that. They do let you, it's open world. They do let you do whatever you want. You can pick, you know, anything within those 3 paths, or just wander around and explore. So that part's great. I have played at this point now 1 thing of each of the paths. So I've experienced all 3 of those paths right now. And while they are different, they also feel very similar to me. It's just like the same formula. I don't know.
I wonder if we all may just need a collective break from Pokemon for a little bit, from Pokemon games, because in the past 12 months, they put out 3 games. Yeah. And we didn't play all 3, but we played 2. And that's a lot of Pokemon. These are big games. I go back to like my feelings on Monster Hunter or Animal Crossing as a game like this. It's like, I'll enjoy it a lot when I'm playing it, but when I'm done, I need a break. Yeah. And playing these games annually maybe is not the best experience. And I think that's maybe why, like, there have been generations that I've just skipped. It's like, this is not looking...
Well, I skipped the last one, and
you played? Yeah, you did skip Sword and Shield.
But I still don't really love this one.
But I wonder if maybe... I don't think the annual schedule is helping.
Well, certainly isn't helping them from a graphical
especially for the really like hardcore fans who seem the most upset, because they probably, you know, have just been playing Pokemon nonstop up till now, and it's just like you need a break, and you might not realize it. You know?
Do you like it?
I do like it. I like it more than I thought I would. I still like Arceus better so far, but this is good. I mean, you had questions about, is it properly open world? It definitely is.
Yeah.
You can go do whatever you want. The 3 things you can do, we had questions of how different those would feel. Now I understand they are fairly differentiated.
Yeah.
I still maintain that the battling of Pokemon is the thing I like the least.
Yeah.
And one of my real criticisms of this game is it is very slow. Like, you might do a move that
Oh
like
my
triggers a
gosh.
couple status effects, and it's like,
Oh
it's like,
my gosh.
let's just spit it out, people. It's like, this happened. Wait. This happened.
It is
Wait.
so
This other thing
slow.
happened. And I'm just jamming on the button the whole time.
I know. It's like your defense fell, your attack rose.
I get it.
Your defense fell again.
It's
And
fine.
your attack rose again. And then your speed fell. And then
Yeah.
that person's speed fell. And then your speed fell again. It's like we don't need this. Like
Yeah. That's
it's
actually
very,
a much bigger issue for me than any of these graphical things people are pointing out.
it's like numbing.
The
to
playability
just sit
of
through
that.
it.
I think I'm kind of avoiding a lot of battles unless it's like, well, I need to, do this to catch a new Pokemon.
Mhm.
Like, having to really grind in this game would be kind of miserable.
Yeah. That part I'm not loving either. Well, we got to address the graphic stuff
Sure.
because it's a huge like elephant in the room kind of thing. Like, I think we both agree that because the graphics, the performance issues are very much limited or like kind of concentrated on graphics and not actual gameplay. Like, it's not as sort of like deal breakery as, as it could have been, but it's not good. Like,
No, it's embarrassing.
It is. And like, I do care about the environment around a Pokemon game. I think that's why I really loved Arceus, and that's why I really loved Sun and Moon, because that environment, that world that they're building for you is so unique and so cool, and it feels so fun to adventure in that world. So that when there are these sort of performance issues and graphical issues, like, it takes you out of that moment, and it does kind of bother me a little bit. And I've had, I think everyone has had their fair share of weird things that have happened to them. But yeah, I mean, it's not like one every like day. It's like constant.
Yeah.
So it's pretty like significant,
I mean, pretty much anybody who could be blamed has been blamed. Blame Nintendo, blame Game Freak, blame the Pokemon Company.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably it's hard to know what the actual root cause is. I do think they care. I do think they want to do better. I do think they will take steps to prevent this from happening in the future, but I don't think it's going to be like an immediate thing, because we know like the schedules they plan out for these, it's not just the games, it's everything Pokemon. It kind of revolves around the games. It's planned out for years, and once they plan it, it's hard to get out of that schedule.
Yeah, it really is.
So I feel like they're probably playing catch up on issues that they realized they had a couple generations ago.
Yeah.
So it's really hard. I think they're in a tough spot. I think that the smart thing would be, though, to say, let's take a break, or let's slow down a little bit. I don't know why they needed to release 3 games last year. They could have done those remakes. Like, we could have done without those.
And we were talking a lot about this in the bonus Q&A as well.
Yeah.
And we kind of dug into this issue a little bit more, but like, just a quick summary. There is like this bigger universe of Pokemon that revolves around the game. The game does not exist on its own. Like, it's tied to like merch and celebrity deals and brand stuff,
the cards and the movies and every other piece of merchandise.
Exactly. It's all interconnected into like this really complex Pokemon universe now. And so if one thing falls away, like the whole thing falls apart, So I think that's why they had to make these concessions with the quality of the performance of this game, because they cannot let this cog like fall apart out of this whole like network of things that's happening, which is kind of sucky, actually, because some of those things I don't care about. Like, I want a game that looks great and works, Like, I don't care about Ed Sheeran singing the song, or like whatever, like the movie or the cards. Like it feels like you're like sacrificing something for like the good of something else, but maybe that something else isn't worth it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like a
That's
lot of other things we've
disappointing.
seen. It's like they've grown very quickly over the
Mhm.
past, 5 to 10 years. They probably grew a little too quickly. And now
Yeah.
they need to reckon with that and they need to fix some of the problems they created.
Right. It's definitely a problem that they've like it's a problem of their own making though. Like
Yeah.
they have the power to pull back and slow
Right.
down. I
I
don't
think,
think it would cause anything bad to happen.
well, I mean, yeah, they might make less money, which is a problem to
Maybe it's
somebody.
bad for them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care. I think, people blaming Nintendo, I don't really know what Nintendo,
They can't really do
I mean, they
anything.
are publishing the game, but Pokemon Company is independent enough that they can just say like, no,
Yeah.
it's
And
done.
and absolutely Nintendo, I would, in my opinion, has very little power.
Yeah.
Oh, out of all of the other things that Nintendo does have power and control over, Pokemon Company is something that they do not.
Right.
Even though they are
Right.
the publisher and there is like the shadowy business deal that they've done, like they did like 50 years ago, whatever it was. Like there is the sense that Nintendo needs Pokemon. Nintendo needs
Yeah.
Pokemon to be exclusive to Nintendo, and Pokemon kind of holds all the cards. And so they're going to do what they want, and Nintendo really can't do much to stop them.
Going back to the money point, it does make it harder for them to say this is a problem because as we've recorded this, it hasn't happened. I am waiting for the press release to drop saying that this game sold some record number
Yeah.
and smashed some record. So it's not like, there's all this upheaval at Disney. It's like Disney had a real problem. Their stank with their stank. Their
They
stock
stank.
was tanking. And Pokemon is, from a purely financial standpoint, doing great. But
Yeah.
there are these issues that are becoming more and more apparent. And, that is the sign of a good leader of I'm seeing this before it becomes a catastrophe. And I'm
Yeah.
going to address it now. So we shall see.
Because it could be like a House of Cards situation.
The thing that is good,
where-
though, is remember, Mr. Masuda is now in a very pivotal role of kind of managing all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And he has the game development background to understand what is happening, how it gets fixed, how long it takes to fix, and hopefully can
Exactly.
reshuffle the deck.
And guide the people in the right direction.
Right.
And I have complete faith in him to do that. I just hope that it's a priority and that that's something that they address like now, because I think they have a lot of goodwill from no matter how angry the fans are, they're going to buy the games. They want to play the games.
Yeah.
But at some point that goodwill will run out if you continue to have these issues that really, it's embarrassing, and it's not a game that you expect to pay $60 for in like 2022. Like that's not the quality that people expect, So anyways, I'm going to keep playing Pokemon, and hopefully
we haven't tried co-op yet. We've got to do that.
the magic will be sparked when we play co-op.
There
Is
we
that what you're
go.
saying?
I think so.
We got a
Yes.
Nuzlocke. We got a co-op.
And we need to run from the police apparently after we
And we
Nuzlocke
gotta
because it's
run
illegal.
from the ninjas, and
Yeah.
the ninjas are going to come after me for the leaks
Pokemon
and the
police.
evolution and the Nuzlocking and the co-oping. It's gonna be a real
Oh my
danger
gosh.
zone with Pokemon soon.
Well, hopefully next week when we talk about this, who knows? I hope we can get to a place where we can talk about the game more than these issues, because it's like I'm kind of tired of at this point. It's like, yeah, I get it. This game's janky,
Janky.
but there is a lot to like about the game, which
is. I agree.
hopefully we can get into more of that.
There's no sparkle, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
Is my
Yeah.
current review of Pokemon Scarlet.
Okay. God of War.
Let me tell you about a game with sparkle, people.
I was traveling the last couple of days, so you have catapulted past
Oh
me.
my God,
And
Lord.
I'm going to say, I think we might need to throw up like a 5 to 10 minute spoiler watch here for some light spoilers.
Yeah, like spoilers, people.
Not
I can't
huge,
talk about the game.
not huge spoilers, but just some
I won't
fundamentals
spoil
about this game.
I
yeah.
won't story spoil anybody.
And if you want nothing, skip ahead like 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Because I want to talk about this game
Okay.
badly. Talk about going from janky Pokemon to God of War, though. That's a real leap for the eyes. Because
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this is the power of a PS5. It really is significant. But I get it. It's not like it's a whole different, comparing apples and oranges, as they say. But it's still amazing. But beyond the beauty of the game, which continues to just, I'm just like looking around all the time in awe, because the different, realms that you're visiting in this game, they're all so unique. That was one thing, again, we were talking about this, like we were both a little worried that it was just going to be like snow thimble winter or whatever for like the whole entire game, just like trudging around in the snow. But that's absolutely not the case. You are going to all these different realms. You're meeting all of these different characters from Norse mythology. And every time we go to a new place, I just stand there like, wow, this is incredible. I just went to a place that I have been dying to see recently. I won't spoil it because this is a pretty big moment in the game, but I was just like, this is so cool. Like the way that they depicted this was just completely like just incredible, really incredible. So I'm loving that. One thing that has been a surprise for me, and this is maybe a little bit of a spoiler, is how much you play as Atreus.
Yeah.
I really did not see that coming. Like I thought for sure it was going to be the same as the first game, where you're mainly playing as Kratos and Atreus is like your little buddy, and he like helps, with some of the puzzles and sort of just follows Kratos around. But no, there are huge segments of the game. I would say this game is like 50%
right
playing as Atreus and 50% playing as Kratos. I was like, wait a second, this is so different. I didn't expect it at all.
That was the main spoilerish thing I wanted to talk about, because that was a surprise for me as well. I don't know if I like the Atreus segments as much as the Kratos segments, unfortunately. They seem to be, I had just finished one that was a really long story dump that felt, it was lightly interactive, I would call it. When it's like
walking around and doing little menial tasks while you hear some dialogue.
Right. Totally. Kind of felt like I lost a bit of the momentum of this, great action game. And that's kind of like something I'm trying to figure out is like, the original God of War games were just these flat out action games, and 2018 God of War was still a lot of action, but a bigger, grander story. It feels like it's veering a little bit more away from action and more towards the story being the focus. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like I'm spending more time getting story than I am playing the game. Kind of what I expect from the game, of these big action exploration sequences. So I'm not as far as you are, but that's something I still have not completely got my finger on, is like, what is the balance of this game, and what am I doing the most?
There is quite a lot happening. There's the action part of it. There is now sort of this exploration part of it with the amount of side quests that you can do and getting to know the different realms that you're in. There is a lot of puzzle elements now in this game. There are 2 characters that you're playing as, so there is a lot of sort of differentiating story paths that you have to contend with. I will say, now that I'm further than that part that you're talking about, that part I agree with you. It was a little bit slow. I don't really love playing as Atreus either. I much prefer playing as Kratos. But I understand the significance of that portion of the game, because it is a huge story part that you need to understand for like the story to work and for you to become like very emotionally invested in these characters. So I get that. That definitely could have done that a little faster, but I get why that exists in the game. I will say that now that I'm sort of past that part, it has felt a little bit more balanced. Like we're back to the action. We're back to the,
well, that's good to hear.
A good balance between like action, puzzles, and story. The other thing about this game that I think you can argue is equal parts great, but also like a little bit tricky to keep track of, is just the sheer amount of characters that you're meeting. Like not only are you meeting, some of the characters from the previous game, but they have much bigger roles in this game. And there's a lot more like interaction that you have with all these characters. So I'm like, wait, who are you again? I remember you from the last game, but then I'm like not sure exactly how you're. I've been binging YouTube videos on Norse mythology and rereading all the books because I'm like, wait, I need to understand like how you're related in this family tree. Like I need like a chart or something, because they really do introduce like a ton more, and you know you're like deeper relationships to these characters like feels important to understand like how they're related to this like world, you know. So I was surprised by that, and I'm still trying to like wrap my head around all of it as well. But I kind of love it because I love the mythology part of it, so I'm interested in that. But I guess if you are here for like the action and stuff, like you might be like a little put off that you're just constantly getting hit with all these like characters and dialogue and all that.
Well, I don't dislike the story. It's just I know they do the action so well. I would be a tiny bit disappointed if that was not there as much as I would want it to be for a God of War game. Okay. I am feeling a lot of FOMO, you know, of you skipping ahead of me now. And I do think I'm going to take a small break from Pokemon to catch up and, you know, hopefully power through this game.
Yeah. I just did something yesterday that really was very much focused on the action part of the game, and like that. And that again was something that was really surprising to me. I did not expect this to happen. And it really just added this new layer of gameplay. And I was like, oh my gosh, I never thought that this would be a thing that would happen to me, like sort of in the middle of this game. And that's so cool that I'm still getting surprised on like all fronts. Like story front is surprising still, and the characters that you're meeting, and then you still get surprised on like the gameplay front as well. So I think it's really well done how they are able to like really capture, you know, all those different sort of pillars of this game and still keep you on your toes. So
yeah.
I'm excited for you to start playing because I want to talk to you about it, but I don't want to spoil you either. So I'm like trying to dance around a lot of the stuff. I'm like, so and then a surprising character joins. And I'm like, I don't want to tell you who, but I really want to tell you who. But yeah, it's really good. I wonder how far along I am because I've done maybe like 2 or 3 of the side quests, but I've been pretty focused on the main quest. And it feels like I might be like getting close, but I don't want to finish it. So like, I hope I'm not. I've been like really playing a lot though.
Okay.
So we'll see.
I think we can wrap up our little spoiler watch there.
Yes.
There are some games I had wanted to check out on Game Pass, but these games are so big I didn't have time. Pentiment.
Yes.
I am going to try that soon. And then Vampire Survivors out on Game Pass. I want to see what the fuss is about with that. Just not right now.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely want to do the same. I've been hearing like really great things about Pentiment, and I really want that was a game that like super caught my attention during the Xbox showcase. So yes, I want to check that game out as well. I think we'll have time this break to do that.
I think so. Yeah. All right. We are on to the news. It's a fairly light news week. This first story, though, is a strange one.
Oh my gosh, this one is so weird.
So Yuji Naka was arrested for insider trading. Some could argue this was the least of his crimes against humanity. He's the co-creator of Sonic the Hedgehog, if you didn't know. So there's kind of this big scandal that's happening around this new studio that was working on a Dragon Quest game. And there were a couple employees who did insider trading, which is, you know, purchasing stock using quote insider knowledge to get a jump on it. Yeah. And Yuji Naka was one of them. It said that he only purchased about $20,000 worth, but there's another guy who purchased almost $200,000 US. So it seems to be a real issue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is a crazy story. I do have like a Nintendo equivalent story.
You do?
Of this. Not for me personally. But okay, so to be
what kind of bombshell is this?
Bam! Who got arrested for insider?
Oh my gosh.
Just kidding. Nobody got arrested for insider trading. But Nintendo of America, we actually didn't get any stock options because the Nintendo stock is only traded in Japan. So like the stock prices did not affect, from a monetary perspective,
Right.
did not affect our paychecks when we were working at Nintendo. But there was this big warning, like blanket warning about insider trading, because you're not allowed as an employee of Nintendo to purchase Nintendo of Japan stock and then use your knowledge like, oh, we're going to announce a new Zelda game this year and let me just buy more.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
That is insider trading.
And that is what happened with these people. But there was like a big warning, and there was I'm not going to name any names, but there was somebody that accidentally did not understand what insider trading was. And I'm going to give this person the benefit of the doubt. And did purchase stock and then had to like dump it because it's like legitimate insider. Like it wasn't to the level of these people, obviously, but like you can't do that. Not even like a little bit. Like you're not allowed to do that. It's illegal. So yeah.
I do joke about, Yuji Naka and Sonic. I do feel kind of bad for this guy because he feels like he's just somebody who's in kind of a spiral right now. And it is sad to see, he was, this great revered game developer, and, he had that turd of a game, Balan Wonderland, that he did with Square Enix. Horrible. And then there was that huge dispute that he had with Square of like why it was bad, and there was so much finger pointing, and now there's this. It's like, this is sad stuff. Yeah. This is sad. Yeah. Hopefully he can get his life together.
Yeah. It is like, is this like a cry? Is he tweeting the laughing, crying emoji? Like what's happening? Like do you need to talk to somebody?
Maybe that can be part of Sonic Week. Let's work through Yuji Naka's issues.
We'll have him up.
He can be a special guest.
We can therapy session.
Can help him get his life back in order. Yeah. Pick up the pieces, buddy.
Oh, tough love. Yeah. Tough love. Yeah, it is really sad. It's always, again, just like, it's just embarrassing and like awful to see these kinds of like stories pop up around the game industry. It's like, oh, it just feels dirty, Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good.
Two other quick stories about some upcoming updates for Nintendo games. The Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass Wave 3 is coming December 7th. I'm going to list off the tracks. Valley. Oh, is that the one you're most excited about?
Maple Treeway. That's the one.
Maple Treeway.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
That's one. Love that one.
I am not ashamed to say that I'm very intrigued by these Mario Kart Tour courses.
Yes, I do like those as well.
And there's 3. So you have London Loop, Berlin Byways, and Merry Mountain. I cannot wait for Merry Mountain.
Yes. Or like a fun, like holiday themed one for sure, right? Yeah.
And then of course 3DS Rainbow Road. Any Rainbow Road is good. So this is looking like a pretty stacked.
Yeah, GBA Blue Lake, 3DS Rock Mountain, DS Peach Gardens, and 3DS Rainbow Road. Yeah, it's gonna be really cool, I think. We've already gotten requests to play Mario Kart for the December virtual meetup. So we will, of course, do that.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Yeah.
And our last story, I know you're excited.
Oh, yeah.
Switch Sports Golf update launches on November 28th.
Counting the minutes.
Very soon.
The
countdown is on.
Yeah, counting the minutes. I legitimately have not played this game for like a million years now. I feels like I feel like my life has changed since I last played this game. I don't know.
I'll try this.
Sure.
You will not. I take it.
No, I have it. I might as well. It's free, right?
Get a plastic golf club and strap it on your Joy-Con,
you need
right?
To buy me a plastic.
I almost said Wiimote.
That's what it feels like.
Just a force of habit there.
2008. Yeah, I have not touched Switch Sports since it first launched. Can't say that I had this on my radar at all, but yeah, no, I'll try it. I mean, I have the game, might as well.
I really wonder if there's going to be more updates because this keeps popping up in those financials. Like the game is selling really well.
Yeah,
it's obviously not like Wii Sports level, but
sure,
it's good, and it might benefit from 1 or 2 more things.
They should just have them closer together.
I know.
It's too far apart.
Meanwhile, what happened to those What happened to those Mario Strikers updates? Those really fell off.
We got the first one. That was it, right? There's no.
We got Daisy.
No more. We got Daisy, and that's it.
And what else?
No more afterwards.
Oh my gosh.
That one I am still mad about. $60.
Oh boy.
It's not fun.
Oh no. So that was all the news for this week, and we can move on to questions from our Patreon community. Each and every question we answer comes from our Patreon subscribers. We also do a weekly bonus Q&A with questions that and answers that are exclusive to Patreon. And I have a teaser of a question that we have answered in a recent bonus Q&A that you can only hear there. The question is from our subscriber Daichi. Were people at Nintendo worried about the Steam Deck? It was released shortly after the Switch OLED's reveal trailer. Most of the reaction was praising the Steam Deck and dunking on the Switch OLED. So if you want to know what was happening inside Nintendo when the Steam Deck was announced, sign up, patreon.com/KitandKrista. Get your hands on that bonus Q&A and find out for yourself.
Exactly. The spicy questions are there. And you can listen to all the old ones too.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
But on to our questions for this week. Our first is from Cerulean Mayhem. Hey. Oh my goodness.
Oh, boy.
These subscribers are out to get us.
They're out to get you.
They're getting my goat. Hey, not so mysterious trainers, Kit and Krista. What Nintendo Minute video are you the most proud of, but that did the worst view count wise on YouTube? For example, I really loved making this video, but it only got 12,000 views. Conversely, what Nintendo Minute video are you the least proud of, but it did the best view count wise on YouTube? For example, really, I am not feeling this video, but somehow it got 1 million views. I love this question.
This is a great question. I have one that stands out so much in my brain.
I feel like we might have the same answers.
Really?
I really think we will.
I'm
yeah.
so excited to hear your answers. Okay, so the worst view count, but in my opinion was a great video, was the video that we did for Sushi Strikers.
Oh, that is not the one I chose.
Okay, that was a good one. And that, to be fair, that game just wasn't popular, really.
Blame the game.
So it's the game's fault, not us. Our beautiful sushi is not to blame. We made a Nintendo Minute roll, and it was so delicious and so much fun. It was, again, I love these cooking videos that we did, and we still do. But that one really tanked, and it was a huge production to do. So it is a little bit sad whenever something like that happens, because it's like an out of the ordinary video that we were doing. So we did prep a lot for it, and our production team worked really hard on it. And then it does, like, you know, really poor views, and you're like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, that one didn't do well, but I understood why, because that game was really under the radar.
Exactly.
My pick is we did an incredible series, a Hades character bracket.
Oh, I loved it.
Greg Kasavin from Supergiant Games, the creative director.
Yeah.
That we planned for that to be a single video, but we went so long. We made it like, it was like a 4 or 5 parter.
It was a 4-part series.
It was massive. And
but the conversation was so fun.
They all did terrible.
They all tanked.
It was really sad.
You guys should watch that video, though.
It was so great getting his insight and whittling down those characters, and there was a really unexpected like winner, I remember.
Yeah, there really was.
I think, you know, we did that. I think those came out like just a tiny bit too late.
I think so too.
That was always something that was tricky, was like, what is the perfect time for this video to come out? And Greg was so busy, we could only get him at a certain time. So we had to wait a teeny bit longer than would have been ideal. But those are excellent videos.
Yeah. You got to watch them just to hear Greg talk about the characters in the game, because he's just a wealth of knowledge. And I was like fascinated listening to him talk.
And I think the three of us got along really well too.
I know.
There was like a good vibe.
And we also had another video with Darren Korb, which is the music director.
That one is also excellent video.
I think that one might have done a little bit better, but also not Game Busters. So anyways, if you are into Hades, which you should be, because it's a great game, we did multiple videos with the team there, and it was awesome. What is your answer for the second part of the question?
We did an unboxing for Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which did get over 1 million views.
Oh, wow.
that is like a extremely bare bones game package. It's like we were really stretching like what a video could be here. It was like, here's the front, here's the back, and we opened it up and we're done.
Thanks, bye.
So it's like I didn't think it was a bad video, but it was like a little flimsy, in terms of what was actually in it.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to answer this question because I really did love every single video that
you have
we
to.
made, and I also love every single video that we make now. I will say that I didn't hate this video at all, but I was just like, how can this still be getting 1 million views? Which were the Mario Maker videos. Like, we just kept doing them for like ever. Yeah.
I
was like, wow. Like,
those were works of genius.
Episode,
how dare you?
9 of like
I'm upset now.
Favorite Mario Kart levels. Like, it felt like I was cheating almost, because it's like I'm not really trying that hard to like come up with a new video idea. We were just like playing your levels again, and then it'd be like 1 million views. So I felt like sort of like gaming it a little bit or something. But
wow, we didn't have the same answer at all.
Oh
well.
Really don't know each other.
Good question though. Kai X is next. Hi, Krista and Kit. In the couple years preceding the Switch, a coworker would regularly proclaim that if Nintendo didn't hit a home run with their next system, that the company would be in very serious trouble or in danger of going out of business as we know it. Was this ever a legitimate concern within the company itself? This coworker of yours does not sound like a bundle of fun walking down the aisle making proclamations. I do proclaim.
It's going to go down in flames, everyone. Sounds dire. There certainly was a lot of pressure, in those Wii U years. Again, this is why we have complicated feelings about that system, because we were in the soup, as they say. I'm not sure it was as dire as like, if Switch does not succeed, this company is like shutting its doors level. But definitely it's like, this is very important. We like need to make this work. And everyone needs to like focus on, this priority that is this next console coming out.
Yeah, there was some worry. One of the things people would always say is like, we've got so much money in the bank. Like we got a great, strong financial position. But you could see like that money starting to dwindle as time went on. It's like, oh, this was one of our great strengths, and now we're kind of losing this. That's worrisome. Mm-hmm. And you do wonder, when you're in a prolonged period of weakness, like the potential of an acquisition goes up, where it's like, I don't know, we can't cut it anymore by ourselves. Like, we might need to sell to somebody else. And obviously the price of the company goes down because your shares, your stock is in the tank. So there were a lot of potential bad outcomes that could have happened. I don't think we were, again, biting our nails daily because of it, but they were on people's minds.
Yeah, definitely. And there was periods of time where you would worry, like, is there going to be layoffs? Like, is there going to be, there was certainly like tightening of belts or whatever throughout the company, and trimming down on things that may be like superfluous. Nintendo is so good about not laying people off, though. They're such a stable company to work for. We were so lucky that we never really had to worry that much, but certainly that was on our minds as we were in like those later Wii U years and things had not gotten better. And yeah, we had other concerns too. Like, are they going to close our office? Which eventually they did. But like, those are like superfluous things that they could do to help the company save money that could have affected us like a lot. So yeah, there was stress and concern, but never to the point of like, oh no, shutting her down kind of thing.
Grumpstraw is next. Hello. What do you think the trajectories of both of your careers as talent on camera would be like if you had joined another one of the big three? If you were at Sony or Microsoft, do you think you'd have pursued the same sort of opportunities while working their creative content for a digital space? Is that something you both wanted to do, or is it a project of happenstance?
For me, it was definitely a product of happenstance. It really was not something that I was out to do. I joined the company in the communications department to work on, like traditional PR stuff, like media stuff. And then of course, social became a big part of my job and creator relations. But that was sort of what I saw as like my quote unquote career. And the on camera stuff was just like a fun thing that was happening on the side, really. It's kind of funny to think about it now, because now it's like, well, it's completely the opposite. Like now this is like my job, you know? But it was totally not something that I was pursuing, and just happened.
Yeah, it was, I mean, happenstance. That's a great word. It was happenstance for me as well. I mean, I do think we have to give ourselves some credit and say, you know, we did obviously have some talent in it, which is why we ended up doing more and more, and eventually this.
Did we have talent, or did we just like it, though?
Come on.
This is the difference between you and me.
You know, it's interesting. Sony doesn't do as much of this as they could. And they have some really incredible, you want to talk about talent, like Sony has some great people who I think could be doing more on camera, sure, and doing, you know, original video. People who, you know, came from journalism before, people who, you know, have come up the ranks internally at Sony, some really, really amazing people. So there's just not that many opportunities to do it there. Microsoft, you know, does have more. I gotta give a shout out to Major Nelson, who is kind of like an OG of this kind of stuff, and who's really had at this point like a really remarkable career. I'd love to get to know him. I've never met the man. I'd love to meet him. Yeah. But they seem to have more opportunities and want to put people out there a little bit more, and I think it's great. I think it works well for them. I always think, you know, with any of these companies, there's always more or new ideas that they could explore, but yeah, I think Microsoft has been a bit more aggressive in that space.
Yeah, for sure. I think that the work that we were doing at Nintendo, like that was so much of a passion project for a very small number of people that when we left, like there still is no new, you know, like Nintendo Minute replacement, or even like some of the other original videos that you were leading at the company when you were there. Like it's just trailers now.
They just stopped doing it.
And Nintendo Direct. So like if you don't have people that are passionate about pushing that forward, like I don't think it gets done. And that's the point about Sony as well, is like I don't think they have people there pushing it forward, you know?
Yeah.
So
Pikmin Sneezekov is next. Hi, Kit and Krista. 8 years ago, Nintendo hosted an event called Nintendo Challenge Live to promote the launch of Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U. Because of technical difficulties, Smash footage had to be interrupted, and in the meantime, Bill Trinen and Krista stepped in to entertain the audience with Super Mario Bros. Lost Levels. It was very funny to watch as the whole Smash community was mad that their game was interrupted and Bill and Krista struggled to get past the first level. Lol. Could you tell us more about this cursed event? The archive no longer exists on NOA's YouTube channel. However, a streamer by the name of Bond of Games has the stream partially archived, and Sneezekov has included the URL here.
Oh my gosh. That
this
really was cursed. Yeah, that was during San Diego Comic-Con.
So this was at Comic-Con. I was there, but had to leave early. Leaving you to be a part of this.
You ditched me and put me in a really terrible position. And now I'm embarrassed because I had to play this terrible game that I could not play.
Well, I think Bill Trinen should be the one who's embarrassed.
Well, he
performance in the Lost Levels was
he definitely
atrocious.
Should be more embarrassed than me, but I also was embarrassed. I had more to prove than Bill Trinen. I was left to just.
You were still up and coming.
I was left to perish because you ditched me. I can't believe I'm still kind of mad at you, honestly. Yeah, that the way you described it is exactly what happened. Is that we were kind of like last minute ads because there was like all these technical difficulties.
There were huge technical difficulties.
It was really bad. Like talk about embarrassing. That was pretty embarrassing. So yeah, we did not get past that first level, and it was very awkward and terrible. And I honestly I do not like doing this with anybody else but you. So I really didn't want to do it. And I was forced to do this, and I didn't want to do it.
And you told me a mortifying story that somebody approached you and said, "Oh, it's Kit and Krista," but it was Krista, but it wasn't Kit.
That's right. I also hosted that Smash event with another member of the Nintendo Treehouse, who was a Caucasian male. in the most PC term. He was a white guy, okay, guys? And I was Krista, and I was there, and then this person came up to me and was like, "Can I get a picture with you guys? You guys are Kit and Krista, right?" And I was like, "Well, I'm the Krista part of it." But I think it was so embarrassing that we just took the picture. Like, we really could not even like. So there is a picture out there from someone has a photo that they think it's you.
Get it out there.
But
the world needs to see this.
It's somebody else. It's a doppelganger, but really the person looks nothing like you, so it really wasn't a doppelganger.
Me, Caucasian, generic Caucasian male. What's the difference?
Blinking white guy?
Not a lot. We know who that is. That's Drew Scanlon. We love him. Nebula has the next question. Krista talked about motion sickness with the 3DS, and my first experience today with Pokemon Scarlet has been tamped down a bit with the same.
Oh, no.
I'm very susceptible to motion sickness, and it's always disappointing when it becomes a barrier to enjoying a game. Krista and Kit, if you also struggle with this, what do you do to mitigate gaming motion sickness? Has it ever made a game unplayable for you? I had to give up on Superliminal myself. Does motion sickness ever come up in game development or QA to your knowledge?
Yeah, I actually am pretty... 3DS was definitely, like, when I turned the 3D on, it definitely did not... I didn't do well in that environment. Like, I definitely would get motion sickness. But beyond that, I'm almost like pretty good with motion sickness. Like, I don't have it too often, so it is sad that you struggle with it. I think the only other game that I had like terrible motion sickness was Mirror's Edge. I cannot play that game. Like, I literally tried many times, and it's impossible because the motion is too jerky for me. But yeah, I can see it with Pokemon Scarlet though, because the camera, when we were playing together, when we were streaming and you were controlling the camera, I was like, can you stop doing that? Because I thought you were doing it on purpose.
I think it's the frame rate. It's like it's not smooth. Rate. It's
right.
jerky.
And that's what's causing you to get jarring. Yeah.
I fortunately have never experienced this, but I know a lot of people who do. I do know it's something that in development and QA they take into account, because obviously you don't want that to happen.
Right.
It does seem to, first person games seem to have it a lot. There was another game on Xbox, Breakdown, I think it was called, which was kind of a predecessor to Mirror's Edge, where you could like see the hands and it was like the full body from a first person perspective. That seemed to really mess with a lot of people. But yeah, that's a very interesting quirk of making games that, obviously is a big issue for a lot of people.
Yeah. Ways to prevent it though, I think you have to just maybe play it in like shorter chunks. And I do think playing on a bigger screen makes it worse for me.
Oh, really?
So like maybe try playing it just handheld. The game doesn't have graphical performance, so why bother anyway on TV mode? So you might as well, if you want to just get through this game, play it on handheld and like look outside, look at the horizon often. I don't know. Good luck. I'm sorry that you're dealing with it, but that sucks.
Our next question is from MadDog5981. In your roles at Nintendo, did either of you have to deal with the ESRB? Were any Nintendo games given the ratings that were higher than expected? And if so, was there any back and forth or negotiations in order to change the rating?
You were frightened of the ESRB. So very frightened. I couldn't even say mimosa.
Well, Nintendo was frightened of the ESRB because they ruled with an iron fist. Like, we had to do mandatory, what was it, twice a year?
Twice a year.
Training.
ESRB training.
Of like, learn, what the ESRB wants. How do you be compliant?
Yeah.
And it was grueling because if you got fined, like, it was big money. And it was like, your department has to pay for this. And it was kind of implied, like, you're probably getting fired if you mess this up, because you're costing the company a lot of money. We had a really close call with the ESRB on some Nintendo Minute videos where we got some bad advice. and
Oh
we
yeah.
got a nutty phone call. We were just like, we we're on a plane and we landed and we got some really like intense message from the legal team. Was like, what is going on? Like the
That's right.
ESRB is breathing down our necks. You need to change this immediately or we're going to get fined. And we
Yeah.
did, but it was like really like a nerve-wracking day.
It was. I mean, we definitely dealt with them a lot. They were made out, and maybe they really just are in reality this big scary entity that will like come down on you if for the smallest mistake. Um, and the marketing team really like took the brunt of it because it needed to like for every video it needed to be like every 4 seconds before you play any footage. Like there was also a lot of negotiation about like ESRB free or like rated E footage for, even for mature games. That was the thing that was like such a headache. It's like if you point the gun at the
Yeah.
camera, yeah, that's out. Or any this is too much blood. And so like for a game like Bayonetta that ends up in a like in a Nintendo Direct or something like that, they had to like scrub it down so that it's ESRB friendly. And that was tough. That was like really hard to find like footage like that to use. And it was a pretty big headache.
Yeah, honestly, marketing for M-rated games is tricky because of the ESRB. So that's why it was nice that we were mostly not dealing with those.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Switching it up underscore has our next question. Hey, K and K, how are things? Back when the Wii U was revealed, EA came on stage and said there would be an unprecedented relationship with Nintendo. After this, things seemed to fall apart. The relationship between EA and Nintendo is nearly non-existent. There were rumors that Nintendo were originally going to use EA's Origin for the online infrastructure for the Wii U, but ended up going with their own infrastructure, and EA was not impressed. Was there any truth to this? Do you have any insight into what happened to their relationship and why EA did not take Nintendo consoles seriously? Case in point, FIFA Legacy Editions, year in, year out. Thanks. So I forgot to talk about this on the Wii U episode, but Nintendo got done dirty by a lot of these third-party games, which
Yeah.
we mentioned this, like they were big names, but they were games that people had
Just
already
old.
played, and they were
Yeah.
like they came out, 6 months ago, a year ago from when the system launched, and I think most people who would have been interested in those had already played them, and there
Hmm.
wasn't enough new content to give it another go. And I
Right.
think a lot of those third parties said, wow, this launch software should be selling through the roof. It's not. This system's a
We're
dud. We're
out.
pulling out.
Yeah.
And that was a really unfair way to judge it because that was not the strongest software that they could have done. It was not taking advantage of the hardware. And in the case of EA, it was like, here's Mass Effect 3 that's kind of watered down, honestly. Here's Madden that came out months ago.
Hmm.
And they judged their decisions on that. So it was really frustrating to not really be able to give it a fair shake because these
It's like
games
they
didn't live
were,
up to what they should have been.
yeah, it's like they were being set up to fail, basically, because your expectations didn't match the support that these games were going to give to the system. Like if
Right.
your expectations were for the system to be a huge like positive thing for these games, and you would have come out with your actually good games that were not 6 months old,
Right. Right.
so like obviously there was little belief even going into it, and then why would there be a surprise when it didn't sell,
Yeah,
so it
I
was
do think there
really
were other things
unfortunate.
happening behind the scenes. I do think that this is not news. Like the Wii U was a very hard system to develop for,
Yeah.
and I think the tools outside of Nintendo were probably not up to snuff.
Yeah.
So it was tough on those launch games, but it just made for a really bad situation, which there were a lot of those with the Wii U, and it led to what that system became.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Matthias.cs has the next question. Hello, Kit and Krista. Do you know what is taken into account when choosing a release date for a game? Pokemon has a pattern of releasing main series games on Fridays of November, at least since Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Does the franchise negotiate to have a specific date over another if they belong to the same publisher? For example, Zelda disputing a release date with Mario the movie, the game, because they expect to finish development at the same time.
Yeah.
This is something we never got complete clarity on. There was a
Mhm.
team that was in charge of deciding like
The launch
the
calendar.
launch dates or how much things would
Yeah.
cost and how much we would be manufacturing. But they really operated in the shadows.
And they also operated like in their own little silo. Like no one else could get in, you know?
Right.
It was very strange. Nintendo does release most games on Fridays. There's two release date instances that I recall that we were like, we cannot have this happen. One was when September 11th was a Friday, and there was a want to release the latest
Oh my
Star
gosh.
Fox game on that date, and we threw up all of the red flags available and was like, no, please don't do this. This is so tone deaf and terrible. What are you thinking?
And there were a lot of people that were like, what's the big deal?
What's the big deal? I'm like, are you kidding me
Oh my
right now?
gosh.
Oh my God. Anyways, that was a real head
They did
scratcher
ultimately
moment.
change it.
They did ultimately change
Yes.
it, thank goodness. And I was like, great. There was another game that released on the same day as another Nintendo game. What was it? Do you
So
remember?
Super Mario 3D World and
Mhm.
Zelda A Link Between Worlds came out on the same
That's it.
day.
That's what
Which,
it was.
again, I don't know what they were thinking. You know, it may have been like, well, one's for 3DS, one's for Wii U, so those are different audiences. Let's just get them out there. It's not the best way to do it. You know, there are some very like general ideas that you see, like, let's get it out before Black Friday. That's generally a good idea. Or we need to get this out before the end of the fiscal year or the quarter. Sure, I get it. Beyond that, it's just, you might as well just throw darts.
Darts, yeah. But
'Cause
usually it's Fridays.
It usually makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
Kyle Gamer, what Splatfest themes would you like to see in the future? Don't answer that question. That is going to become a future Never a Minute segment. You're hearing it now for the first time.
Oh, we can also do a poll, and you
Yes.
guys can tell us, and we'll share in that segment as well.
Exactly.
For our wonderful Patreon community.
That's right.
Exciting stuff. Good idea, Kyle Gamer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is that the end
Well, it's not the end.
of the
We've got some great
questions,
shout
I mean?
outs to make. That is the end of the questions,
course.
though. Yes.
Okay. Who's going first this time for the superstars?
I will go first. Here we go. Aaron Hash.
Ben Eichhorn.
Maru Mayhem.
Eigenverse.
Jordan Collette.
Kiss My Flapjack.
Mike Chin.
Mr. Rogers.
Paul Gale Network.
Rain Tech.
Roy Eschke.
Simon Barrera.
Let's do this together.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Switching
it
up.
Underscore. World premiere. Safaison.
The Shark Among Men.
VGM Life.
Link, the hero of wins.
Angela Bycroft and her pig Molly.
And Turbocharged Nerd.
Thank you,
Outstanding.
superstars. All right. Now moving on to our One Up Club graduation service. Should I go first?
Please.
Aaron Burgundy.
Adam Edwards.
Jean Malari.
Ale Alejandro.
Alexandra Pratt.
Astrodev.
Eagle.
Bookem Dano.
Brad SF56.
Bruce Stash.
Chancellor Fairley.
Christopher Lay.
Cozy Tar.
Captain Cinnamon Buns.
Captain Alex.
Sea Roper 17.
Daniel Cold.
Daniel Valencia.
Dogson.
Doodoo Phase.
Douglas Chomix.
Dino Punch.
Elite Peach.
Espars 50.
Ezrato.
Fart Priest 69.
Airbound.
Fred Rossi.
Gar.
Garrett Hallfish.
Ian Shea.
Israel or Izzy.
Jay Rando.
Jabroni Jones.
Jackie Z.
JK99.
JBJ.
Jeff Yoakum.
Jeffrey Hernandez.
Jesse Hernandez.
John Responte.
Jonathan Rowe.
Jordan Hemmerly.
Joseph DeHaze.
Joshua Clements.
Juji Fruit.
Just Camtro.
Kai Commercio.
Kawa 2796.
Kelp Shake.
Kevin Delane.
Christopia Party With Me.
Kyle Gamer Barry Rookie.
Kyle Kretzer,
Kyle LaBeouf,
Kyler Nelson,
Linnell Stickman,
Lego My Froggo,
Lemma,
Lit,
Lucas Pico,
Mad Dog 5981,
Malfarink,
Marky Man 64,
Matthew Rewald,
Mecha Dragon 101,
Megan,
Michael Cravens,
Michael White,
Mikey,
Mr. Andy Pong,
Murph,
My Tran,
Nasir,
Nathan Burkhart,
Panda Buns,
Piano Psychopath,
Prime Factor,
Prince Charmless,
PS Wii,
Quinn Hartigan,
Reaver,
Ray Chiron,
Ryoji Utsuho Okuu,
Renee Rivers,
RJ Kern,
Rob Osborne,
Rox,
Ryanetta,
Sam Neeland,
Sharif Jackson,
Sheer Cold Vanille,
Shinru,
Slowbro,
Schniggles,
Silly Ferret,
Spicy Munchkin,
Steel Citrone,
Teppo Limburg,
Thomas Alvarez,
Travis Torline,
Troopage,
Tugs Puppy Bear,
Tyler Geis,
Video Game Stupid,
Beautiful Dandy,
Virtual Bot,
Wicked Davy,
Will Ernst,
Will Johnson,
Zudaverf,
Zelgaroth.
and Droid.
Whew!
Woo!
Made it.
The ending is always hard. Look at tongue twister at the end. Oh man. Awesome. Well, that was fun. I'm so glad we got our TGA predictions all locked up here, and I can't wait for us to find out how right or wrong we are when we're live. At the show
Indeed.
in LA, all dressed up in our party finest. It's gonna be fun. Yeah. All right. Well, don't forget to subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/Kit and Krista. Lots of fun things going on there, and we're gearing up for our next monthly meetup. So if you sign up before Saturday, you'll have time to come hang out with us. What else is happening? Follow us on social.
Follow us on social. Yeah.
We
We now have a Facebook page. That's new.
We're
Wow.
on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. Wow.
Yeah. If you're watching this on video, do us a favor, subscribe to our channel. If you're listening on audio, you can leave a 5-star rating and write a short review as well. Thank you very much.
It does help us a lot. So thank you for doing that. All right. I think that's it.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.